this. So can gold stage a serious turnaround? That's the question. And no one better to ask than our next guest, Marianne Bartels, CIO of Portfolio Strategies at Merrill Lynch, and one of the most followed technicians on the street. Thank you so much for phoning in here. Marianne, the question is the move in gold a dead cat bounce or a real bottom?
I'm not sure it's a real bottom right yet. We may still have to test the low. We were looking for 1,200. We got down into that area. We may need to test it. And we're thinking later this year you'll get a more meaningful rally in gold.
Jeff, hop in there with a question for Marianne.
Well, one thing that's interesting, Marianne, in June, we saw whenever we see correlation go to 1, when they sell everything, we really saw them hit in gold again when a lot of people thought there was the opportunity to buy. So my question to you is, as we're nearing all-time highs again in the equity market, we see another pullback. Are they going to hit gold lower, and how much lower can it go?
You know, that's a great point. What we've noticed through history is gold can change or can mark major changes, especially with interest rates in the equity markets. So we have interest rates rising, we have the market rising, and gold falling. And so it is possible, as long as the equity market continues to rally, that gold stays out of favor. Now, we still recommend it for portfolios, especially as a hedge. But hedges, you know, this is a hedge that's worked, you know, since the early 2000 period. Gold is up 500% from the lows of around 2000. And this is the first time we're getting a meaningful pullback. We've had two 20% pullbacks. This is 30%. So again, I think we test that 2000 level. Could we undercut it? Sure, we could undercut it and maybe go down to around 1154, which is an important Fibonacci level.
Hey, Marianne, let me ask you, when I talk to traders, and I know you're a technician, but do seasonals play any kind of role in your thesis here? Sometimes some traders I talk to who are more bullish on the metal will say, you know, July, October, usually a better time for gold. Does that play a role in your thesis at all?
Well, I'm not taking that into account right now, but there is seasonality to gold because you do have Indian wedding season in the fall. You have one in the spring, one in the fall. So that's when you typically get demand from India for gold. The two major buyers for gold are China and India, and we think that's long-term support. The other important buyer that we like to watch are the emerging market central banks. So that's where really the long-term buying is taking place. I think the concern is that gold is down a lot. Clients are opening up their statements saying, well, that's down, the markets are down, and we're just starting to see investors come back to the market. When we kind of look at our flows here at Merrill Lynch, our clients have been net buyers of the market almost the whole year. So I think that's another factor that's playing into gold.
Jim, you have a quick
Marianne,
question?
I got a quick question for you. Yeah, sure. Do you put a lot of stock in the connection between U.S. Treasury rates and gold? What I'm saying is rates have gone up to 2.6%, making that 0% yield in gold a lot less attractive. Are you accounting for the fact that rates are going to go higher? Do you think they're going higher? And will that also weigh on the price of gold?
Yeah, again, another great question. Generally, when interest rates go up, the price of gold to hold, the cost of it becomes more expensive. So gold tends to have a negative impact with higher rates. The firm on Friday changed their 10-year Treasury forecast for the end of this year to be 3% and for 2014 to be 4%. And we've been talking about the great rotation now for several years here at the firm, trying to get our clients positioned for a higher interest rate environment.
Before I let you go, Marianne, what's the long-term target for gold for our viewers?
Well, we do have a year-end target for gold this year at 1478 and for 2014 at 1560. So we're looking for a bottom around this 1200 level. Could, you know, maybe as a test undershoot it. We'd be a buyer looking for prices to rise later in the year and next year.
All right, Marianne Bartels of Merrill Lynch, thank you so much for your time today.